Welcome back to the channel, guys. P Street Garage, and it's time to get back on the 69 bay window. I just received a big shipment from CIP1, and that's all to do with the front brakes, the backer plates, the front shocks, e-brake cables, brake hoses, everything that pertains to the front end, because in previous videos we had done everything back here. Also in this order, I went and got a clutch pressure plate alignment tool and a throwout bearing. So what I'm going to do now, before I jump into the front, I had originally planned to start doing the front and dropping this front beam. That's kind of the next big step, at least I thought. But before I do that, what I want to do, I'm going to pull out this lump. That's my newly rebuilt 1600 dual port. And I've had this for almost a couple of years now. It's been sitting underneath a tarp. So let's pull this out. Let's take a look at this clutch and pressure plate. See if we can get this installed. Okay, so I'm just having a quick compare to the old stuff that came with the bus. And of course, I'm not going to need the flywheel. I have a brand new flywheel that's already torqued onto this engine, although it's got a little bit of a surface rust on that. I think maybe we'll clean that up a little bit. But just looking at the clutch disc, it's definitely looking like a match. In fact, the old one really didn't seem like it was that bad, not that worn, but it's one of those, you're in here, you may as well do it. The pressure plate, I had them back to back, side to side. They look like they're a match, or they look like they're identical, except for this one's finished a little bit different here with this ring. So I've seen them more like this before. I don't know, maybe it's a new design. The clutch alignment tool, I was surprised how cheap this was, and it's because it's plastic. But anyway, that's what we need to center everything in place. And I just went online and I got the torque specs. And the torque for these is actually quite low, but we'll respect that. So let's give this a bit of a clean. I think the pressure plate comes with, there's a layer of goop on here for protection that we'll wipe this off, and we'll get this mounted. Okay, well, there's still a bit of rust there, but I don't think that's going to hurt anything. Now the pressure plate here, that's quite greasy. We'll get this one here all cleaned. Okay, how about this? That's pretty clean. I have had my hands all over it though. Okay, let's start putting this together. Little dab of grease in here to start. Okay, don't want none of that coming out of there, really. Okay. last time I did a clutch and pressure plate. It was on a 1969 F100. So it's my first time doing this. So, got our 13mm fasteners with these wavy washers, and there's 6 of them. Okay, let's get the other 5 in. All right, I'm just going around with a 13mm. I'm bringing all these in until they're sort of bottomed out, and then we will break out the torque wrench. So shout out to my buddy San Diego VW Life. I just watched your video again, man. Very helpful. Appreciate it. Okay, I think everything is home. Now let's torque this down. And this is only 18 foot-pounds, believe it or not. Seems really low to me, but you know, I watched his video and he referred to the manual, and I've also watched others, so let's do that. Of course, I don't have the locking tool on here, but I don't think I'll need it. Twenty almost seems like it would be too loose, but yeah, I didn't design this thing. I'm only trying to assemble it. So we'll go with that. Let's go around again. Okay. This part's done. So I'm pretty much at the point now that I could get ready to start installing this engine. Before I do that, I think I'm going to try my aluminum valve covers. Let's see if they'll fit on here. So here are those aluminum valve covers. These originally came with the bus. They were in the pile of parts. And several months ago, I did a video on these, on how I polished them on my buffing wheel. So I thought maybe, since I got these here, I got new gaskets loaded up. Why don't I see if these will fit on this engine? Maybe try to give it a little bit of bling. Okay, well, they don't fit. They're too deep. I would need something different here. Anyway, I'm gonna stick with the originals, I guess. No biggie. Right. Well, that's a little bit disappointing. These are gonna go back on the shelf. So now let's look at this new throwout bearing I bought. All right, guys, I'm back here at the transaxle. Gonna have to jack this back up. Here are my throwout bearings. So this is the original throwout bearing. This was a German made, and to be honest with you, the only reason why I ordered one is because I broke the little clip There's two little clips on each side that clip in here somehow, and when I was messing with my cable, I broke one, so I ordered an entire new one. Looks good, feels good. I don't know, what does this all mean? Blueprint. Oh, that's just a part number maybe. Anyway, let's situate this on here. We'll get those clips fastened, and then we'll be ready to wheel this engine over and bolt this in. Okay, the throwout bearing is in place. Clipped in. Looks good, feels good. Now, nobody mentioned, I watched quite a few vids on this, just how tight those clips are. But I had mine in place, and I just kind of pushed it on with a screwdriver, got one side started, held it, and did the other, and then it clipped into place. But these springs are extremely stiff, and I don't know if there's another method of doing this, but anyway, it's in. Okay, let's bring this engine over. Alrighty, well, that transmission jack worked like a dream, putting that engine in. Unfortunately, the engine is not in all the way, and I wiggled it back and forth a few times, and it doesn't seem to want to quite go in. So I'm going to bring this back out, and I'm going to have another look at this pressure plate, particularly that center ring. It might be a case that that center ring is removable, and it's possible that for my application with the newer style throwout bearing, and my transaxle being a 72, I did a bit of research, and I think that maybe that center ring may need to come out. Let's bring this back out and have another look. All right, here's the engine back out, and that's what I'm talking about here. Earlier, when I compared the two pressure plates, I thought that maybe this was a newer design. In fact, I believe what this is I think this ring is removable, and I think this ring is designed for the earlier bay stuff. Of course, my bus is an early bay, but this is a 1972 transaxle, which has this sleeve. So the throwout bearing just doesn't hover. It kind of is riding on this sleeve, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, we're not there yet. I think that this sleeve is too big for this hole. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to try to stick it on there. Actually, what I should do is I should measure. But anyway, I think this is the issue I'm having. And I know that this ring is removable from the little bit of research I did. All right, stand by. All right, I got nothing really to measure that. I thought I had a vernier. I did have one at one time. I can't find it. So I got the clutch alignment tool in, and you can see how tight this little peg is around this face. And then if I put the old throwout bearing, you can see that there's a big gap around the throwout bearing. And there's really a tiny gap. Tiny, tiny. It's almost riding on it on that one. So our issue is this. It has to be. We'll take this off and see how this ring comes off. So here's the pressure plate, and I've got it flipped on the inside, and there's kind of like a little spring here that's wound and under these little tabs. I've got it moved under. There's a way to pop this out. I've got it freed up on 2 tabs here. I think I'm just going to grab a pair of pliers. Maybe try to spin it around. I won't be able to do it with one hand, but I think I'm going to try to spiral this out. And then that should release this. Okay. This thing here. Okay, let's see if I can rip that out. Okay, I think it's coming out. Yeah, there we go. I got it unclipped. I'm going to try to rotate it. There it is. Now, hopefully I'm not messing up a perfectly good pressure plate. But, so there's this off. So now, yeah, I think this is the way ahead. Now it looks exactly like what the old pressure plate did. So I was wondering what the difference was a few minutes ago. I believe that's what this is. Hopefully. All right, let's throw this back together. Let's get this engine back in place. While I took the engine back out, I jumped in and I threw in that seal there. Perfect time to do it. Okay, it took a little bit of fiddling, but I got the engine in place. At first, it seemed like it was hung up still, even after I took the ring off of the pressure plate. It almost seemed like there was an obstruction, but I just essentially wiggled and jiggled and shoved a couple times, and then she clicked into place. So I got the 4 bolts in there holding the engine in. I'm going to leave it here for now. This was all about the clutch and pressure plate. So the engine's in, but obviously this is not a bus engine, meaning my mustache bar will not directly bolt up to the engine. I don't have those lugs like a bus engine would. So I'm going to save this for a later video. In the later video, I'll come in with my mustache bar. This is my mustache bar that came with the bus that I previously degreased and repainted. So at that time, I'm going to install this. And then I've got this little kit from Empy. Essentially, this bolts on to the oil pump housing, and somehow you can attach this bracket to the mustache bar. So, but I'll save that. I'll save that for next video. I'll try to keep my videos not as long. My videos tend to ramble. So I'm going to leave it here for now, guys. Clutch, pressure plate, engine install. So thanks anyone who tuned in, and we'll catch you in the next one.